Join your palms to the heart center. Keep your neck and spine erect. Relax your thighs. Relax your shoulders. And palms gently touching each other. The eyelids gently closed. And relax your tongue in the mouth. Let it settle at the base of your buccal cavity. Look inwards. Listen inwards. We'll say 3 Omkaras. Sarvepi sukhina santu. Sarve santu niramayaha. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschit dukhamapnuyat. Om sahana vavatu. Sahanau bhunaktu. Sahaviryam karvavahai. Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Rub your palms. And gently put the soft part of your palms on the eyelids. Good morning, everybody. So today we're going to conduct an exclusive on pranayam and dhyan. So I don't know, do you guys want to do any exercise? You can speak up. If you want to do any warm-ups or any Surya Namaskar, I think I can guide you, but I may not want to do it. I'm still not 100% recovered, so. It's okay. So let's start with Pranakrishna Kriya. We'll do some Kriyas first, and then we will do the pranayams. We'll take a complete review of what all we have done so far. And then we will go into meditation. So the sequence today is Kriya. So we'll start with Kapalabhati as usual. Then we'll do the Bhastrika, so that will get into Mahabandha. And then we'll do the Ujjayi. Then we'll come back to Kapalabhati type 1, type 2. And then We'll probably do Nadi Shodhan, then Anulom Vilom, and then Sitali, Sitakari, and then Brahmari at the end before we go into the meditation. Okay, so that should be the sequence today. All right, so let's start. Keep your sit in Ardha Padmasana if you can. Put your left heel pressing against the perineum. If you sit on the block, it is just easier to do it that way because then you're not always leaning forward if you cannot sit comfortably. And then take your right foot on top of your left thigh. And if your right knee is not touching the ground, you can put a block. So you can put a block like this to support the right knee. So it is gently resting on the block. And then eventually, once the muscles relax, you can take the block out. Okay, so you're not stressing the muscles too much or the knees. Okay, so sit in Chin Mudra. Can you all turn on your videos? I cannot see anybody. Is it possible? Yeah, there you go. I feel like I'm talking to a blank screen.
Amit, sorry, I'm just watching today. Not doing
Okay.
anything.
It's
I want
okay.
to just see how it's going. That's why I'm not
Sure.
turning.
Sure. No problem. Okay. So let's sit in Chin Mudra. Close your eyes. Take your glasses off. If you have a wristwatch, you can take that off also. Because these kind of electronic devices, they do interfere in the pranic energy. So put them aside. Take a few deep breaths. We'll do Pranakarsan Kriya. Conscious breathing. So press your epiglottis. Breathe in with the hissing sound, with the sea breeze sound, however you want to call it. Conch shell sound. So take a deep breath. And as you take a deep breath, so yesterday was Ganesh Chaturthi, and these are the days of Ganesha, 10 days considered to be very auspicious days. And Muladhara Sthitosi Nityam. So this said in Atharva Shirsha. So Muladhara is where the Ganesha resides. The animal icon of the Muladhara chakra is the elephant. The color is red. And the shape of the Muladhara chakra is facing downwards, and it is said that it looks like the hibiscus flower. And that's why on the Ganesh Chaturthi we offer hibiscus red flowers to the Ganesha. So remember that, and we'll start with the remembrance of Ganesha. We start the journey from the Muladhara chakra. You breathe in, press your epiglottis, and travel along the spine. Breathe in gently. Come to Swadhisthana, come to Manipur, come to Anahat chakra, come to Vishuddhi. And remember, you're traveling along the spine in the Sushumna Nadi. The entry to the Sushumna Nadi resides at the Muladhara chakra with the Kundalini. And it is said that the Ida and the Pingala also start from here. So 3 nadis start from there. So Ida is at the base, and the Pingala is on the top. And there is a reason why then we are doing Ardha Padmasana. The left leg is under and the right leg on the top. It's a symbol of the Ida and Pingala crisscrossing each other. And you begin the inward, upward journey from the Muladhara chakra saying, so. So let's begin the journey along the spine. Take a deep breath. And once you reach the Sahasrara chakra, start releasing the breath and saying, hum. Once again. So do it about 5 to 10 times, this upward and downward journey. So with this conscious breathing along the Sushumna, we are trying to cleanse that nadi with attention, with awareness, with consciousness, with pranic energy flowing freely up and down. And we are creating passages, or rather cleaning up the passage for the pranic energy to freely flow between the Muladhara and the Sahasrara. So these two chakras are the two extremities in our body, and they are directly connected. So always remember, two extremes are always connected. From happiness is the beginning of the sorrow, and from the sorrow is the beginning of the happiness, as they mention it in the yin and yang philosophy of Zen or the Taoism. So these two polarities are always, it's like if you eat too much sweet, that becomes the bitter. And if too much bitter, it becomes sweet again. So life is cyclical in that sense. So the two chakras are connected. And so energies are descending from the Sahasrara down into the Muladhara. And from Muladhara, they start rising into the other nadis which crisscross along your spine, and then they go into other chakras all the way till the fingertips. So that's the energy body in your system, in your, there are 7 bodies. So all these bodies they have a direct correlation, but the energy body is the direct correlation with the chakras, the psychic system. So we just did the pranic, prana krishan kriya. So the prana, as it flows into your body, we call it the prana vayu. The prana vayu becomes an essential ingredient for the generation of the prana in the body. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to focus the energies from the Agnya chakra to the sun on the horizon. So this is a morning, beautiful sun rising. So when you close your eyes, make a cone from the point, which is, if I draw a straight line in here from my temples, take a golden string from the top of the Sahasrara chakra and connect it where these 2 points meet at the back, wherever the spine is. That's where the Agnya chakra is, the third eye, the pineal gland. All of that is right there. So we're going to make a cone. That cone goes all the way out to the sun on the horizon. So now the Prana Krishan Kriya is going to draw energy from the sun. Okay. So when you breathe in, imagine that you're drawing the energy from the sun. Ultimately, we've been talking for the last few weeks that we are all our solar charged batteries, and which we are. It's a fact. And all that energy that is coming from the sun is coming, manifesting into the body through the actions, through the life, everything. So we owe a lot to the sun. So let's see how we can draw the pranic energy from the sun as well. So as you breathe in, imagine that from this cone, the energy is coming into Agnya Chakra. And once you breathe in fully from the Agnya Chakra, as you breathe out, you direct that energy to all the other chakras along the spine. And if you have any ailment, if your liver is not right, or there's some disease somewhere, if you're a heart patient or whatever, imagine that you're doing abhishekam of that energy on that particular organ. If you don't have any problems, just keep on circulating that energy downwards into the other chakras, and then it will find its way into the other parts of the body. Okay, so let's do that kriya. It's a modified version of the pranakrishna kriya. We are focusing on the sun internally. So exhale fully. Make the cone from the Agnya Chakra to the sun and breathe in. And as you breathe out, imagine that you're channeling all that energy into other chakras or a specific body part that might be suffering. In my case, maybe the low back. And we are using the pranic force, the prana shakti, to heal the body. Again, take a deep breath. Imagine the cone, bring your attention to the sun at the horizon. And bring your complete attention between the eyebrows. You're almost doing the Shambhavi Mudra. So the way you do Shambhavi Mudra is take the tip of the finger and hold it 1 foot away from the center of the eyebrows. And then take the finger 1 foot straight up and then look at the tip of your finger and then close your eyes. The other way you can do it is you tilt the chin about 10 degrees up as though you're trying to look up, and then close your eyes and come to Shambhavi Mudra. And while you're doing the Shambhavi Mudra, form the cone and take a deep breath. Wonderful. So this is something you can practice to heal yourself. There are other techniques of healing, but I found this pretty interesting. Some while ago, a doctor said I had high cholesterol and my liver needs to sort of be healed. I had triglycerides, all kinds of problems. And so I practiced this, or it was taught to me by Soneji, who is running the Sarathi Yoga Foundation in Los Angeles for the last 40 years. And he became one of my first few gurus. So he taught me this technique. And it's very, very effective. And you should all practice that if you feel like that it has some effect on you. But it's again, mind over the matter. So it is very essential that you're completely focused here and now, and you travel along with the breath. And as you travel, you need to come to that particular part of the body and see if you can empty that energy out into that part. And it's supposed to heal. And I've experienced it many times. I have many examples to talk about. But today is the time for us to get into Kapalabhati first. So we'll do the Kapalabhati Kriya. So sit in Chin Mudra. We've done 2 Kriyas so far. So let's do exhale fully. And we'll do abdominal Kapalabhati, 108 strokes. Exhale fully. Breathe in half the lungs and start. Exhale completely. Keep the breath out. And take a deep breath. And notice the tingling sensations already starting to happen in the body. The oxygen that has been added to the bloodstream through the lungs. It within few seconds, it reaches every nook and cranny of your body, every cell, and feel the tingling sensations at the center of your palms, the fingertips. Suddenly you will find there is more meaning to the Chin Mudra, the tip of the index finger and the tips of your thumbs. Notice that there is that tingling sensations, a biochemical reaction happening there. Just one simple kriya and the body immediately responds. Okay. Let's do one more round quickly and then we'll move to Bhastrika. Exhale fully. Breathe in half and begin. Hold the breath out. Pull your tummy in. And take a deep breath. And very gently with Ujjayi, release it. And notice all over the body pulsations happening. It's not just tingling this time. The whole body starts throbbing with your heartbeat. This is the real experience of throbbing, throbbing of the heart, the pulsating sensations. Be aware. We're going to go into yet another heightened experience through Bhasrika. So close your palms in Adi Mudra, your thumb reaching the base of your pinky on both hands. Close your four fingers on top. This is the Adi Mudra. This is how we were in the womb. So it's called the Adi Mudra. And we'll do Bhasrika Pranayam, Bhasrika Kriya. So we all have done that. So let's start. We'll do 15 strokes. So what you do is you inhale, completely raise your palm, stretch upwards, and then exhale forcefully as you come down. Okay, so let's count 15 and we'll stop. And then at the end of it, we'll do Mahabandha. So what we're going to do is you take your chin, push it against the chest. That's the Jalandhar Bandha. Pull your tummy in and up into the cavity inside, and make sure your Mula Bandha is locked. So this is a tri-lock, the Mahabandha. And then bring your entire energy, entire concentration at your navel. That's where the Manipur chakra is. It's in this region where the 72,000 nadis are coming together at the solar plexus. So that's where you're going to bring all your energy. And imagine that you're pulling the apana vayu and the prana vayu, samana vayu, and then becomes the samana vayu. This is the band where this is samana vayu. So apana, prana, and the samana, you're going to bring it right here. So all of this is mentally happening, and imagine that it's mind over the matter, remember? So let's do that, okay? Here we go. Adi Mudra. And release. Take a deep breath. And gently leave it. Consciously. Again, let's do 3 rounds for this. And release. Take a deep breath. And release. Notice the subtle differences happening in the body. One more time. Deep breath. Excuse me. With that, we'll go into Ujjayi. So Ujjayi, the way we do it, there is subtle one and there is gross one. So let's do the gross Ujjayi first, and then we'll get into the subtle aspects of it. So the gross Ujjayi is you consciously create vibration in the epiglottis as, as though you're snoring. So you constrict the epiglottis a little harder, and then you snore. You make this snoring sound like, or while breathing in. So the breathing sound is a little bit more melodious than the breathing out sound. So we'll do that. And then we'll do the type 1, type 2, and type 3 Ujjayi. Okay. Again, we are still into the breathing techniques. So from Kriya, we are traveling into the breathing techniques now. From the breathing techniques, we'll slowly migrate, segue into the pranayama. So when we'll start manipulating the breath. Okay. Sit in Chin Mudra. Exhale fully. And breathe in through Ujjayi. Breathe in through Ujjayi again. So you will release that your throat will start making some secretions. Also, you feel like gulping. So what it is doing, it's cleansing the phlegm. Ujjayi breathing is really awesome for phlegm that is always there, like you feel like doing. So that goes away by Ujjayi at the physiological level. But at the psychic level, what is happening is you're traveling down your Sushumna Nadi as you're breathing in and up. So in the first Ujjayi, you're basically traveling from your middle portion, so your Manipur, Swadhisthani area, all the way till the heart chakra, and then you're going down again. In the Madhya Ujjayi, we'll come to the Vishuddhi chakra, and then we'll go down. And in the Urdhva Ujjayi, from Vishuddhi chakra to Agnya, we'll come back all the way to Sahasrara and then go down. Okay, so follow me with this. I think when you breathe in, you make the journey upward and downward along the spine. So you're cleansing the psychological knots. So psychological knots are nothing but sanskaras. And those sanskaras are sort of the DNA of our behavioral pattern. So we say that, oh, if you have a good sanskari person, he'll behave in a certain way. If you have a bad sanskars, you will behave in a certain way. And we'll find all those kind of people all over throughout our life, but there's nothing fundamentally wrong with them. It is the way they have been brought up. The way they have been brought up in the past lives, as they say it, I don't know. But all those sanskaras with your sukshma sharira, as you get into the prana, when you're born, those sanskaras come, that prarabdha comes with you. So all those sanskaras, good and the bad, they all come with you. However, to be in this yogic system, we are cleansing unconditionally the good and the bad. Only then we can rise beyond the two polarities, the dualities that make this life. Okay, only then we can make the journey towards the Advaita. Otherwise, with the good and bad, if you just did all the good deeds, you're still accumulating the sanskaras. If you did bad deeds, you're still accumulating sanskaras. So what am I to do, right? So Ashtavakra, if you look at his Sanhita, you will find him mentioning that you are neither the body, neither the mind, neither the breath, nothing. You're basically that consciousness which is always untouched. And but how do we get to that realization? So first of all, we have to drop all these chittamala, as they call it. The chittamala is nothing but all the sanskars that are holding us up. They're weighing us down. So let's do this. So as we cleanse the system, imagine that you're also cleansing the psychological knots. And then we are preparing ourselves towards doing the meditation at the end. Okay, so let's do this. Breathe in again. Now let's switch to Madhya Ujjayi. So fold your arms, grab your forearms or your biceps. And now we are going to go from Anahat Chakra to the Vishuddhi Chakra. So exhale fully. Again. One last time. So make sure your breathing out is at least twice as much long as you're breathing in. So while talking, I completely missed the Madhya Ujjayi. So we just did the Urdhva Ujjayi first, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that. So let's do the Madhya Ujjayi. Grab your waist like this and make sure your thumbs are touching at the back. And take your elbows and straighten them so your chest is completely open. Sit erect. Breathe out, exhale. Start from the Anahat Chakra. Wonderful. So we did 3 types of Ujjayi breathing. And so let's do Nadi Shodhan from here. So there are a few ways to do this. I think there are a few mudras. First, we have to understand. So there is something called Nasagra Mudra, or they also call it Nasika Mudra, where you put your middle finger where the Agnya Chakra is and use your thumb and your ring finger to slide up and down on your nose, and you close it when I instruct you to breathe in from left or right. And we'll go into, it's also called, I think, Chandra Bedan and Surya Bedan. So Chandra is the Ida Nadi and Surya is the Pingala Nadi. And with those, we are now trying to mix the channels. So right now we were just going up and down. So now we have to balance the nadis before we get into this Anulom Vilom. So let's try to do the Nasika Mudra. The other one is the Vishnu Mudra. So you can basically close these 2 fingers, the first 2 fingers. The last 2 fingers, your ring finger and the pinky, and your thumb. It's also called the Vishnu Mudra, like this. So you can use this to close in and out like that. Okay, this is probably more visible on the net, so I'm going to use this. But if you want to use the Nasagra Mudra, that's also fine. Okay. All right, so let's do this. Exhale fully first with both the nostrils. Breathe in through the left. Breathe out to the right. Right in. Left out. Left in. Right out. Right in. Left out. And do it at your own pace. We don't have to. Wonderful. So now, having mixed the channels, if you hold your glasses at the base of your nose, they should equally fog. That means both the nadis, the Ida and the Pingala, are now balanced. Okay, so once you balanced it, let's do the Anulom Vilom Pranayam. Now we are getting into this zone of pranayam, and now we're going to manipulate it. All right, so how are we going to do this? We close the close the right, breathe in from the left, hold the breath into your tummy, put all the two locks, Mula Bandha and your Jalanda Bandha, but not your Uddiyana Bandha. Hold the breath there for about 10 counts. Release the Jalandhar and then close the nostril which you breathe in from. So you close the left. I'll give you instructions. So, and then breathe out from the right. And then we do the opposite. Okay, we'll do this a few times. And then we'll get into the other pranayams. Okay, so here we go. Vishnu Mudra. Breathe out completely. Close the right and breathe in from the left. The left hand has Chin Mudra. Close the left. Breathe in from the right. Bandhas. Release the tummy. Release the Jalandhar. Close the right. Release from the left. Breathe in from the left. Release the lock. Close the left. Breathe in from the right. Breathe out from the left. Very nice. So we've done so far Kapalabhati, Bhastrika, Ujjayi, and then Nadi Shodhan and Anulom Vilom. We skipped the Kapalbhati type 1 and type 2 because we have done that before, but um, I don't want to go back into the sequence. So now we're going to get into more calming breaths. Okay, so it's summertime. Let's get into Shitali and Sitakari. I posted a photograph yesterday. I don't know whether you saw it, a fox with his rolled tongue. And it immediately reminded me of the Sitali and Sitakari pranayam. And we are going to add Bhujangi pranayam also in here today because we are playing with the tongue. Okay, so let's do this. Sit in Chin Mudra again. And we are going to hold the breath. So what we'll do is we'll breathe in through the mouth, take it into the tummy. I mean, it's all going into the lungs ultimately, not in your tummy. Okay, it's just the expression that they use. Release your abdomen while you're holding the chin, the jalandhar like this, and the mula bandha. Hold it there, and then you come out, and then you release it. Okay, with both the nostrils. So it's not that difficult. This is something just a matter of practice, and you'll remember all these sequences. Okay, so sit in Chin Mudra. We're going to do the Sitali pranayam first. That means you're breathing, you make a taco of your tongue and you make a little hole in the tongue like this. Now, this is pure genetically possible. If you don't have the right genes, you will not be able to fold the tongue like this. Don't despair. I cannot do it either. So I just breathe over my tongue, but I just fold it inside whatever I can. Breathe over the tongue and take the breath in. Okay. And in the Shitakari, I'll show you what to do. All right, here we go. Sitali. Breathe out. Exhale fully. One more time. Gently release. Nice. So now we'll transition into Shitakari pranayam. So it's also called Sadanti pranayam in different schools of yoga. So here now, our teeth have little gaps in them. So we're going to breathe through the teeth like a car's radiator in the front, like it's breathing in. Okay, so you're cooling in a different way, and the system is same. You take the breath, don't pull your tummy in, release it like a lambodar, and put your chin lock. Always the mula bandha is always there, regardless of any pranayam that you're doing. Mula bandha should always be there. Okay. All right, here we go. Chin mudra. Breathe out completely. Exhale. Gently release. One more time. Exhale fully. Wonderful. So if you have been practicing with me, I teach Amar Kruti. And in Amar Kruti is a combination of your Kapalabhati, your Mahabandha, and the Shitakari. All three of them you basically practice in one, one go. So I don't think we're going to do that, but we have been doing it, so you all know what to do. Brahmari pranayam is something that we haven't been doing, so I really want to bring that in, and it's a very, very powerful, mind calming, dopamine releasing kind of pranayam. Okay, so if you want to release your leg, and because now we're going to go into meditation, so release your leg, and if you want to take a break, I would say stretch your feet and do some sukshma vyayama and get the legs stimulated into blood flow again. And because Brahmari is a very meditative pranayam, it's excellent for. So, have you heard of something called dopamine, which is one of the four happiness hormones? And it releases through many different ways. It is a happiness hormone that is secreted into your through the pineal gland. And you may want to check that. Okay, don't quote me on all of this, but it's also called in yogic system we call it the piyusha, the ambrosia, and because of that secretion, the dopamine. Today in today's world, we are constantly stimulated mentally, physically. We have a very stressful lifestyle. There's stress hormone going inside your body. There is dopamine released when you're in the social media, or if you're happy, you hug someone, you meet someone. There are many ways to release the dopamine. But in all of this, okay, in all of this, we are relying on something outside of us. Okay, whether you're shopping, whether you're spending, you're net surfing, you're watching the phone screen, your social media, you're typing something, you're engaged in all of this stimuli is coming from the outside. And that then what happens is we start relying more and more for the dopamine secretion, and then eventually we get addicted to the dopamine. And when we don't get the dopamine, there is a dopamine crash in your body, like the sugar crash, right? And so we then eat all kinds of stuff to bring the sugar back on, and then after a while it crashes again, and then you feel like sluggish, you lose the energy. Similarly, when there is dopamine crash in your body, you get depressed. Mentally, you're depressed. And so then you start looking for the stimulus outside, you start depending on someone. What yoga teaches us is how to be self-reliant for your own happiness. And to be happy for no reason is the way to be happy. That is the true yogic way of being in a blissful state of mind. And so to be not reliant on the external stimuli, Ujjayi pranayam, all of these pranayam techniques, but the Brahmari pranayam was sort of discovered, invented, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to get into the Brahmari now. So we're going to do Shankmukhi Mudra. So what is that? Let me take this out. On the ear, you have this little small little vestigial organ, as they call it. That vestigial organ, you press it with the thumb. Press it and close your ear on one side. And then you close the other ear on the other side in the same way. You press that, you close it. Then you're going to take your index finger and put it on your eyebrows, like this. And your middle finger at your Agnya chakra, like this. And your ring finger and your, because I'll tell you what, there are all these marma bindus in all of these spots. Okay, there's a marma bindu right there. There is a marma bindu here. There is marma bindu in your ears. That vestigial organ, as they call it, it's really not vestigial. There are points in there that you're pressing. So there are things happening. Okay, so you put this here, put that there. There's a marma bindu right here that you press with your ring finger, like this. You press that. And your pinky can just basically hang here or just be on your cheeks like this, and you close your eyes. Okay, so you close your eyes, and then you're going to breathe in through Jai, like we did before. Okay, and then what we're going to do, the Brahmari is, there are two ways to look at it. A Brahmar is the bumblebee. So what we did earlier, the gross Ujjayi is the Brahmar sound. Like a deep bass sound. All right. The Brahmari is nothing but a bee, like a bee that goes like from flower to flower. It's like a honey bee. It makes this sound, and that there are all these symbolic things to these things. What is the Brahmari doing? It is acting locally, but it is thinking globally at the same time. So you're in the macro and the micro at the same time. All right. So it is collecting honey from every plant. It is going into this and collecting all of that. But what it is doing in its own world, it is building that beehive somewhere. So the Brahmari pranayam is basically now going to connect us to the higher consciousness in that sense, if you really think about it. The other one is, we call it Brahma. And this entire Brahma has a vibration frequency of its own. And some people call it the Omkar. Omkar has a vibration frequency that actually connects us to the Brahma. That Brahma, that vibration frequency of the Brahma, is also called Brahmari. So that Brahmari is nothing but the sound of the Brahman. The entire the expansion of this universe has its own frequency. That Brahmari is what we're going to initiate in our own body here and now. Okay, so there are all these significance to the Brahmari pranayam. It's really fantastic. It is advised in the text that you do it at least 15 to 17 times. And once you do it 15 to 17 times, there is enough dopamine released in your system that keeps you blissful throughout the day. Okay, so we are not doing 17 times today, but I'm just letting you know that that's how much you can do and get the full benefit of this. And try it one day for the, just for the fun, you know, just to be happy for no reason. Okay, so we are going into Brahmari now. Let's get the Shankmukhi Mudra. Put your fingers, like I mentioned, and exhale fully. Breathe in through Jai. Release your mudra. And enjoy the suspension of thoughts in your mind. There is complete silence within. And your breath will eventually come to normalcy. Bring your entire attention to your nostrils. Below the nostrils and above your upper lip. Notice the subtle changes happening in your Chidakash. And we are done manipulating the breath, so we're just going to leave it alone. Just observe the natural breath going in, coming out, going in, coming out. Be the only witness of that breath going in and going out. Throughout the day, we are not aware of the breath going in and breath coming out. But here we are making a conscious effort to just observe. Just observe the breath. The breath is the connecting link between the body and the consciousness. And you will notice the breath will start becoming subtle and more subtle and shallower and shallower. And just observe. Let us witness the breath. Let us witness the thoughts in the mind. So remember one thing, one yardstick, that whatever you can experience is not you. Whatever you can see is not you. You see the thoughts, and the thought is the mind. There is no mind without the thought. It's emptiness. So that you can see the breath. It's your body, not you. It's your mind, not you. Keep moving. Keep holding the finger like a little child holds the finger of its dad or mom. And all the fears go away. The child is very comfortable holding that finger and just going wherever the parent is taking him or her. It's least bothered because the parent is there. Likewise, let's hold the finger of the breath and let us go wherever the breath is taking us, deeper and deeper. We're taking a deep dive within our own subconscious mind. We're not traveling anywhere outside, but just within. Observe that breath becoming subtler and subtler, shallower and shallower. So the consciousness in us is a constant witness, even while we are sleeping, while we are doing anything. It's like that lamp on the stage, or the lamp that is just witnessing everything that is happening on the stage, but never participates in any action. All the action is of the mind and body. All that action is funded by the sun, its energy. That energy makes us do things in life, makes us live the life we are born. And all of that energy coming from the sun is just constantly moving from one life form to the other. The potential energy, the kinetic energy, constantly moving, constantly cannot be stored. So the energy has to keep moving from one to the other, one to the other. Likewise, that's the energy that keeps us driving through the day, keeps the heart beating, keeps the breath going up and down. And that is the breath we are witnessing. So now we are the witnessing of all that energy, all that bodily action, all the mental actions, thoughts, everything. The breath and the thoughts, we're observing that like a lamp observes. In the presence of that lamp, everything happens. In the presence of that Sakshi, everything happens. The sun gives us the energy, but who gives the energy to the sun? Who gives this energy to all these galaxies and stars? That's the Sakshi Chaitanya inside us. It's hard to believe, but that's the fact. It's not a figment of our imagination. It's the fact. And the first and foremost fact is we cannot deny our own existence. We can deny everything else. We can even deny God. But to even deny that God, we need energy to deny it. Where is that energy coming from? So you can keep on denying neti, neti, neti. I am not that. I am not that. I am not that. But ultimately, I am that. There are just the two ways of looking at it. So by now we realize that the breath is almost not there. It is so subtle. The body is hardly breathing. And notice the tingling sensations all over your body. At the microscopic level, at the cellular level, there is constantly biochemical reaction is going on. It's all funded by the sun. Everything is funded by the sun. That biochemical reaction is what gives us the energy to act throughout the day. It is directly coming from the sun, from the food that we eat, the food that the plants manufacture. They take the sunlight, they take the oxygen, they take the carbon, and starts the chemical reaction. And these are all scientific facts. The only place where the sun's energy cannot reach is at the Sakshi Chaitanya. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka. That pavaka, the fire of the sun, cannot reach the core of the being. The core of that being. That presence which is witnessing everything. That's the true nature of us. And that's the true nature of everything. Each one of us, animate and inanimate objects, that's the core of the sun, the core of the galaxy. And the center of the universe is the same Sakshi Chaitanya. It's here and now within us. So the Sakshi inside me is the same Sakshi inside all out there, all of you. the stone on the roadside, all the animate and inanimate objects. That one witnessing element unifies everything. And that is exactly what the Shastras are saying, that the God is in every one of us. Now remove the word God and replace that with Sakshi. The witnessing. It's neither the male nor female, nor inside nor outside, neither the day or the night. It's beyond any duality that we experience in the outside world. And whenever you're lost, just grab the finger of your parent and come back to the nostrils. Observe the breath going in, naturally flowing. There is nothing that we do. Everything just happens on its own accord. The sun is funding all of that. Something else is funding the sun. Feel the presence from within. And notice that the presence is always there. Throughout the day, we can tap into it anytime we feel like it. Just close the eyes and feel the presence. That emanating presence that is observing everything that we do throughout the day. It's always there, untouched. And we cannot deny its existence. It's unthinkable, undeniable, untouchable, whatever we want to call it. Experience that here and now. So we started our journey from the gross reality of the body to the subtler reality of the mind and to the subtlest reality of the Sakshi Chaitanya. Meditate every day upon this, and there is no need of any external stimuli for any happiness, because happiness is nothing but part of the duality. There is happiness that converts to sorrow, the sorrow converts to happiness. And that's the game the Prakriti plays with us, the Maya plays with us. And when you rise above that, you come to Ananda, the bliss. And that state of mind, that state of Ananda is always there whenever we want to derive some energy from that. It's always there. That is the only thing that we can rely on. Rest everything is coming and going, coming and going. Everything is anitya. The only nitya in us is your own presence. And that never ages, right from the childhood to the adulthood, into the old age. That presence never ages with the body. We never feel that we are less present now than we were in the childhood. We're always present. That presence never diminishes. With that, bring your hands to the heart center. And the presence is self-emanating. Samsfarad is the word. So we'll remember Shankaracharya today again. Prata smarami hridhi samsfuradhatma tattvam. Samsfuradhatma tattvam. He's talking about that element we were just talking about, the presence. The Sakshi Chaitanya, that is the root tattvam in this universe, which is Samsfurad. It doesn't need, it is self-reliant, it is self-dependent, it is self-effulgence. Samsfuradatma tattvam. Prata smarami hridhi samsfuradatma tattvam. Satchit sukham paramahansa gatim turiyam. So the turiya avastha is what we were experiencing just now. The four states of mind. The turiya is beyond the mind. The fourth stage, turiya. Prata smarami hridhi samsfuradatma tattvam. Satchit sukham paramahansa gatim turiyam. Yat swapna jagara sushuptamavaiti nityam. Tad brahmanishkalamaham nacha bhuta sangha. Pratar bhajami manasa vachasa agamyam. Vacho vibhanti nikhila yadanugrahena. Yanneti neti vachanair nigama avocham. Tandev deva majamachyutamahurabhram. Pratar namami tamasa paramarkavarnam. Purnam sanatanapadam purushottamakyam. Yasmin idam jagadasheshamasheshamurto. Rajvam bhujangam iva pratibhasitam vai. Rajvam bhujangam iva pratibhasitam vai. Rajvam bhujangam iva pratibhasitam vai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Rub your palms. And look deep inside the Chitakash. The body is completely charged, it's vibrating at a very subtle frequency. The Chidakash is throbbing with energy of the presence of the Sakshi. So Rajvam Bhujangam Iva Pratibha Sitam Vai. So what Shankaracharya is saying that we if we are not aware and if you're not fully in the awakened state of mind, not in the Turiya, then we project, the mind projects what it wants to see. Just like when we go to the cinema theater, there is a screen and there is a projector that projects something that takes us over. So we start seeing things on the screen which are completely unreal. Rajwam Bhujangam. So we are seeing things on the screen, but the screen never changes. When the projector stops, the screen is always there. So we are seeing things that it could be as subtle as this is my body. That is a mental projection on the body that this is my body. This is my parent. This is my child. This is my wife. This is my. So the my is constantly constant in all of that. So if you drop the my, then we don't have the sense of attachment with anything. With that, I'm going to close out. I'll see you next Sunday. Thank you so much for taking the time today. It was
Thank
something
you.
different that we tried. And I hope you all enjoyed.